Welcome to this Pixelz tutorial on understanding shadow options. In this tutorial, we will show how to apply shadow add-ons, explain the difference in shadow options, and most importantly, show best practices and examples of shadow styles across different product types. So you can go ahead and start here on a new specification edit page, and we'll go ahead and scroll down past basic and advanced settings to where our add-ons are. We can go ahead and toggle on this add-on option for shadows. And we get a good look at all of our different shadow options here. Our shadow options are an available paid add-on for all of our plans. So here on a professional plan, you can see all shadow options are just an extra 25-cent add-on, while on solo and enterprise accounts, shadow add-ons range between 20 cents and 60 cents. So why would you want to learn about and use shadow options? Shadow options are commonly used and are an important add-on feature in giving a professional and appealing aesthetic to product photography and your finalized images. Furthermore, combining the appropriate style of shadow with certain types of product images is key in achieving your desired aesthetic on website product pages. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first shadow option, Keep Original Shadow. Original shadow is considered best practice because in almost all situations, keeping the original shadow will create the most professional looking natural result. All of these other shadow options are shadow effects that we create in Photoshop, which can sometimes have limitations and drawbacks on certain product types and scenarios. Let's pull up some example images and take a look. So bear in mind with this Keep Original Shadow option, you have to create the shadow that you want to use in the studio when you shoot. If your original image does not have a shadow, we cannot create one during production. So what we'll do here on the original shadow option is we'll keep the hard shadow under the product, and then we'll fade the long shadow. You can see the product has retained a very natural look here, keeping this original shadow. For model shots, we will keep any shadow created by the model. In most cases, this will just be the shadow that falls on the floor, but if the model is standing close to a wall and there's a distinct shadow on the wall, we will keep this as well, unless you tell us otherwise. The most common option for model shots is to keep the original background. In this case, you do not need to choose a shadow option because the original shadow is part of the background. If you do choose to remove the background on model shots with something like white, we strongly recommend that you do choose the Keep Original Shadow option. You can see the difference here in a model shot with a white background that chose to keep the original shadow. The model has a frame of reference in this image space as opposed to a model shot with a white background but no shadow option. The model seems to float here in the frame without the original shadow add-on. We can see as well the difference in the bag we showed earlier that kept the original shadow as opposed to the same bag with a white background and no shadow add-on. It takes away the natural look that this image has been photographed. So let's move on and take a look at our next shadow option, which is drop shadow. A drop shadow is a simple shadow effect where the image being processed is recreated as a shadow behind itself to create an appearance that the image is floating on top of the background. You can change between sample images here to preview what a drop shadow may look like on a product similar to yours. When viewing different sample images, you can change the light angle on the preview to switch sides that the shadow appears on. Also, you can adjust the sharpness, opacity, and distance to create different looks on the drop shadow to determine what might look best on your product. Flat lay product images, such as a t-shirt or garment, are great matches for the drop shadow option. Since the angle of the viewer is perceived as overhead the shirt, the drop shadow makes sense in looking natural behind the t-shirt between it and the background it was taken on. However, if you apply the drop shadow to something upright, like this bag or possibly a lamp, it looks a bit weird. The drop shadow will be applied to the vertical lines as well on objects like this, and since the bag is being perceived in a straight ahead view and not laying down like the flat lay t-shirt, this would not be the best option for the bag. So let's go ahead and take a look at our final shadow add-on. This would be our reflection shadow. A reflection shadow is used to create the appearance that your product has been shot while sitting on a reflective surface, depending on these gap and height settings. You can scroll through the sample images just like you did on the drop shadow, and then adjust the gap and height settings to create the most natural reflection for your product type. Differing from the drop shadow that gives an appearance that your product has been naturally set down and photographed, the reflection shadow gives the opposite effect that the product is in an upright position and above a reflective surface, as you can see here on the same bag. What we do for the reflection shadow add-on is take an inverted image of the same product and position it to appear that this product is sitting on a reflective surface the way it would naturally. This works well with products shot in an upright position such as the bag, but products like our flat lay t-shirt, this does not work so well. It gives the perceived effect that the shirt is standing up on its own and not laid flat the way it's meant to be. So we've just gone through the details of how to apply shadow add-ons while editing and creating your specifications, and also the best practices in pairing shadow options and different products and image styles. We hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you for watching.